What's up YouTube, Taxi Leader here, coach of the Montreal Canadiancies, back with week 3 of CPL Season 4. This time we're taking on Melontosh, coach of the Exeter City Electivires, and this is a battle that I really want to win, not only to put us back in a positive record, but also because Melontosh has a bit of a reputation, right? He's pretty well known. He made playoffs in the GBA D-League, so I think that if I can defeat him, this will actually say a lot about my skill as a battler, and I think I can really prove myself this week. So we're looking forward to that. Melontosh is also a great guy. I've been talking to him for a while, and we were all really excited to have him in the league. But without further ado, let's read off Melontosh's team, which consists of Garchomp with the Z Crystal, Excadrill, Suicune, Nihilego, Shaman, Xatu, Rotom Spook with the Z Crystal, Mega Gallade, Alolan Muck, Sylve-On, Tornadus Incarnate, and Swellow. So a pretty scary team overall, lots of big threats, quite a few repeat typings actually, which is interesting. Now, what I'm expecting him to do a little bit is for sure bring the Shaman. I really think that's coming to check Zygarde. He doesn't have much of another response to that, as you'll see when I go over Zygarde. He knows Zygarde very well also. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting that thing to come. I think Mega Gallade is the biggest offensive threat versus my team. So I think that's going to be his win con. And yeah, those are the main points I want to say. Those are the two that I'm really expecting to come. Otherwise, I could see, I don't think he'll bring both Tornadus and Swellow. I'm not sure if he'll ever bring both Tornadus and Swellow. And then I also don't think that both Garchomp and Excadrill are coming. That seems pretty redundant to me. Suicune is also a decent threat versus my team, but yeah, like I brought him on specifically to check that this week. So let's go over my team and see how I'm gonna deal. What I wanted to do this week more than past weeks was really play comfortably, really play with a kind of build that I like, a kind of build that I just felt comfortable with, like the kind of thing I've used before. Anyway, you'll see. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore. You see this first one on the screen. We got Light Screen, Reflect Spikes, Flash Cannon, Klefki, Max HP, Max Speed Def, holding that Light Clay. So yeah, for those of you who have known me for a while, you guys know I really like dual screens. In fact, Melontosh knows I really like dual screens because he used my dual screens Tapu Koko team in an OU Showdown Live. So there you go, I'm kind of known for that. I've always liked HO, and I think dual screens is my favorite kind of HO right now. So Klefki is here mostly just to set up those screens and set up some spikes so that I can sweep with one of two Mons here. And those Mons are going to be Zydaddy, named after Melon's Zygarde in the GBA. With Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Outrage, and Coil with the Dragonium Z. If Shaman is the 240 HP, 156 Timid set, which is the set that Mew runs in OU to check Zygarde and everything, then I can OHKO it with this spread after rocks with a Z Outrage. That's what the attack investment is for. I'm not to it KO'd by Garchomp's Outrage with Reflect Up, that's what the HP is for, and with my speed I can outspeed Swellow at +1, the rest is thrown into special defense. So like I mentioned earlier, Shaman is his only 1000 arrows resist, so dual dancing Zygarde looked really nice this week. Next we have our other potential win con, a nice and standard Swords Dance Return, Quick Attack, Earthquake, Pinsir. Everything on his team that resists, everything on his team that resists flying is weak to ground. So This is a really nice Shaman check, so if I beat Shaman with Pinsir, then Zygarde's really freed up. But Pinsir itself can go in versus his team because he does not have a great flying resist. Nihilego is another one, and that's also weak to ground. He also has the Excadrill, which is weak to ground. And let me just double check everything else here. I think that might be it. And Rotom Spook, actually, if I can hit that with 1,000 arrows from Zygarde, so that's why, that's just some nice synergy from those two. And the speed on Pinsir, I believe, is to outspeed Nihilego. That's right. And I'm never 2-hit KO'd by Excadrill's Iron Head, is what it looks like here. Alright. Next up, we've got our Suicune check that I mentioned earlier. Empoleon, Jinketsu, Stealth Rock, Roar, Defog, and Ice Beam. This was actually Flash Cannon before. I changed it to Ice Beam at the last minute because I felt a little bit weak to Swellow and Tornadus. Considering that Klefki was not supposed to be like the main check to those Mons, I wanted to just lead off with Klefki, get my screens up early, and thanks to Ashan, actually, who mocked me and brought a Taunt Tornadus. So that was the lead matchup there, and then Klefki couldn't get up the screens. So I wanted a secondary check to those, so that's why I put Ice Beam. Roar is for Calm Mind Suicune. I can stop that thing from Calm Minding up all over me. We have Stealth Rock because Rocks is great, and we have Defog because Rocks suck on my own side because I have that Pinsir. Next up, we've got Maymay the Latias, Roost, Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, and Reflect type. The idea here is that I outspeed Garchomp. 8 attack allows me to 2-hit KO Muck with full hazards and 3-hit KO with none with that Earthquake, and Reflect type helps me a ton in checking Gallade, mostly Gallade, in also checking Shaman, not so much actually, but I'll look over his team quick. It helps me check the, mostly the Gallade, the Muck actually, and I think it's mostly those two. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Alright, so that's what our Latias is here to do. This is not really supposed to be a switch into anything, it's just supposed to deal with the things that come in to check it. Naturally, yeah. And finally, we've got a physically defensive Tangrowth with Sleep Powder, Giga Drain, Sledge Bomb, and Synthesis for that Garchomp specifically. Sledge Bomb and Synthesis, so I can 1v1 Shaman, as Life Orb Seed Flare doesn't 2-hit KO me. Z Firefang from Garchomp doesn't 2-hit KO even without the Akaberry, with my defense investment. And even Z Fire Blast can't OHKO me with the Akaberry, so if Inferno Overdrive does over 50%, I know that he's a special Garchomp, which would make sense because Tangrowth is obviously more physically defense up. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that type of Garchomp. So that's the team, and let's get right into the battle. Alright guys, here we are with the battle, and as you can see, he brings the Sylve-On, the Muck, the Gallade, the Tornadus, the Suicune, and the Garchomp. So this is actually pretty much exactly what I expected, except that there's no Shaman, and I'm pretty surprised to see that, because like I said, it was his only ground resist. So yeah, he has nothing that really wants to take 1,000 arrows that bad. So the game plan here is just going to be to get up screens with Klefki as soon as possible, and then sweep with Zygarde. But because he has that Tornadus, I actually do want to lead off with Empoleon, which is going to do a way better job of checking it. So let's do that, as he does in fact lead with the Tornadus and goes straight for the superpower, which I'm able to live. I don't know if I mentioned my spread earlier. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, my spread was specifically on Empoleon. My defense investment was so that 4 attack, hasty, non-boosting item Tornadus' superpower doesn't 2-hit KO after leftovers and the attack drop. So that should work out for us here, as I'm going to go right for the Ice Beam, and I get the freeze right away, which sucks for him. He's got to switch out as I just get my rocks up here. So now I'm gonna roar as he substitutes just to prevent him from doing anything. And then versus this Sylve-On, I just Ice Beam it to get some damage off as he throws up a Wish. So I'm just gonna stay in right here, and then I get another freeze. So the reason I wanted to stay in versus the Sylve-On is to get myself back up to range where I could take another superpower, which was the highest roll was 63% actually. So I wanted one more turn of leftovers recovery to ensure that I was out of range for that. So I do get another freeze on Sylve-On, but it thaws right away and does some damage to me with Hyper Voice. I should have calculated this damage because I think that would have revealed this to be an offensive Sylve-On, but maybe not. And yeah, he reveals the Calm Mind right there, so I'm just going to keep on attacking it, and I get another freeze, which is pretty big right here. I'm now out of range of the another superpower, so I can freely, I get the roar, and then I roar him into his Tornadus, which I think that's even bigger than all the freeze hacks I've been getting. So basically this allows me to kill off the Tornadus right here and stop any form, and then this, I just got rid of his only way to remove screens, basically. So now Gallade comes in, and this is where I make a massive misplay. I was looking really good in the game until I did this, because like I said in my team builder, Latias is not a switch into Gallade, it's just supposed to help me. I'm supposed to predict Gallade and reflect type it. That's the only way I can actually 1v1 it. But I don't do that. He's just gonna Mega Evolve and hit me with a knockoff, which basically kills my Latias. So now he's gonna switch out as I go into Empoleon just to sack it, really, because he's probably gonna go for it. I was expecting a close combat right there. So yeah, Empoleon did its job, I feel, which isn't even entirely true. He's got the Sylve-On and the Suicune left. I should be keeping Empoleon around to check those. But anyway, Empoleon comes in. It's not the end of the world because Muck is his switch in here. So he goes for the Crunch as I stay in and roar. What I should have done is, I mean, I didn't really want to get my Light Clay knocked off with Klefki, so I was a little afraid of a knockoff, but he does go for the Crunch, and I can just roar him out. Because, like I said, I am in the frame of mind that I'm sacking Empoleon right here. So Garchomp comes out, and even still, I'm just going to stay in because I don't think I need this anymore. And go for the Ice Beam, which works out for me because he just gets his rocks up. So call it a prediction, but it was more of just a sack. And then Gallade comes out and he can finally kill off my Empoleon, which, as I'm seeing here, makes it a lot harder for me to deal with Sylve-On and Suicune, as you're going to see. So Pinsir comes out. Here I am fairly confident that I can OHKO Gallade with a quick attack. I believe I calced that with the spread that I think he's going to be at -1, quick attack does OHKO. But I don't think there's any attack he can kill me with, so I guess I could have gone for a return here expecting a switch, but I really didn't want him to set up or anything. Suicune's going to come out right here. I can quick attack, and I don't think he's in range of return. Exactly, he's not. Had I returned twice, I would have been able to kill this Suicune right here. So that's sort of, I don't know if you want, that's not the biggest misplay of the game, but if I returned, I think it would have worked out for me. Now I have to quick attack, and I'm going to die to this Gallade's Zen Headbutt. Yeah, I would have picked up an extra kill, I think, with Pinsir there. Possibly. Actually, in the end, it didn't make a big difference, but let's back up a little bit. So Pinsir's gonna die, and now I have to, I bring in Tangrowth because Garchomp is dead, so my main purpose right now is going to be to check his biggest physical attacker, which is Gallade. It switches out into the Muck, taking the Giga Drain, and then I'm going to try to set up my screens with Klefki right here. So, I late screen as he thaws out and starts going for Calm Mind. Now, I have to just start damaging this thing, and my 2 mons that could kill it are gone. Not kill it, but like I could have, if I kept Empoleon or if I kept Pinsir somehow. I don't know how. I don't really know how I could have kept Pinsir actually, but yeah. In doing that, I ended up having really not a great way to beat this Sylve-On. After he gets up way too many Calm Minds, I decide that I just have to Sleep Powder it, and then keep on, just find a way for Zygarde to win, because if Zygarde gets set up, it can win, but if he has no reason to switch here, that's the thing. So I needed to set up on the Muck. I need to go at it with Klefki earlier, maybe on the Gallade, maybe at some point I need to get my screens up and then get Zygarde in on the Muck, rather than versus the Sylve-On. Looking at his team, there's really nothing that let Zygarde set up, so that was some nice prep on Melon's part. Yeah, and I don't know what else there is to say. We're just gonna watch the game, and yeah, there's really nothing I can do at this point. The Sylve-On gets up to +4 on, or +6 rather, 4 times on both its special attack and special defense, and I really have nothing for this anymore. Zygarde is not strong enough on its own to OHKO. I needed to be set up before this thing came in. So I'm gonna go for the 1000 arrows, do a bit of damage, and then Hyper Voice is gonna take me out, and that's GG to Melontosh. I beat myself up hard after this game. There was really, I had the game like heavily in my favor at the beginning, and I just played myself into this loss. I feel it was very like finicky things, but letting Empoleon go down, I think, was the biggest issue. Like I said, it was not going to be easy for Zygarde to set up, but I think I could have just kept my Mons a little bit better, so that maybe Pinsir could have stayed around and done some damage while breaking. I could have even tried to set up with Zygarde earlier, and then swept with Pinsir in the end, which was very possible. But yeah, I played a very reactive game, I think. I did not play this game hyper offensively, which was what it was designed to do. Klefki only came out at the very end. It was just not my finest showing, and yeah, I was disappointed, because like I said, I wanted to win this. Now we're at a negative record. We're sitting at 1-2, and yeah, I missed my chance to beat Melontosh. Which, like, I talked to him after, and he tried to tell me that like he's just like anybody else, which, okay, but like, I don't know. I know that the people in the community more or less regard me as a good battler and a good prepper, and like, I think I'm liked. Just this is getting weird, but yeah, every once in a while I don't have my finest showing. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm good. I know I'm good. I'm just not consistent. I get tunnel vision sometimes. I make mistakes that everyone has made at some point in their battling, and I know that I need to fix them. It's just a matter of actually acting on it, being in the right mindset, which is not easy to do, because like sometimes you gotta schedule games at times that are not ideal, right? But yeah, that's what's up with that. This end of battle here has lasted way too long. So I guess we'll just leave it there. We're taking on Aster in week 4, one of my best friends, as I always say, and one of the best players out there. He won NPL majors, and he got he was the runner-up last season. He went undefeated in the regular season, so Asta's a huge threat, and I'm going to do everything I can to take him down. So, I'll see you guys then. Make sure to leave a like, retweet, and maybe even subscribe, but until next time, later guys.